Let's do a very basic search. Right now, you're looking at the library homepage. Once again, it's at lib.utsa.edu. This tool in the middle here is called the Library Quick Search. You can type in the title or keywords for whatever you're searching for in this search bar right here where it says find articles, books, and more. This is basically like the Google, the library. It pulls from the majority of our databases, so you can go ahead and just type in whatever you're looking for, and it should pop up in the results list. I'm going to show you in another video how to access some other databases that might not show up in here. The quick search is the simplest way to search for what you need. You can also, if you are so inclined, to use the advanced search down here. There is a catalog search for print books and DVDs, but with COVID going on, we're not going to worry about that. If you know what journal you're looking for, you can go ahead and type in the title right here. This is also how you find newspapers, which is very strange, but example, you can type in the name of a newspaper like San Antonio Express or something like that, and it should pop up by using this journal title search. You can also search for ebooks only by clicking this tab right here. So let's go ahead and just do a very simple search so you can see how this works. It is pretty straightforward, but I'm going to go ahead and look for climate change because that's just the first thing that popped in my mind. I accidentally had my caps lock key on, but it should not make a difference. So let's see what pops up. So this is what the results page looks like. I am currently not signed in. I recommend that you sign in and just stay signed in because there are certain things that you have to be signed in for to see in the results list. And also, when you try to open certain databases, it's going to make you sign in anyways because you can only access these databases if you are affiliated with UTSA because many of these things are behind paywalls. This is basically what library fees pay for you to access all of these articles and books and journals through our databases. So you can see right here, because climate change is such a broad search, I ended up with more than 3 million results. You hopefully are going to do a narrower search than that by adding on keywords to your search up here. It works just like Google. You can tell which items are coming up in your results list by this little stamp right here. Like this is a book. There's also ebooks, as well as articles. Streaming video results pop up in here as well. You can narrow this down the left side. If you have gone on any shopping website, you probably know how to use these filters already. Please note that newspaper articles are automatically excluded from your search. So if you want to add newspaper articles back into the search for like the purpose of your class or just for your personal interest or whatever, remember to X this out and the newspaper results should appear again in your list. Because of what's going on right now, you might want to just exclude print results just to make it easier on yourself. If you want to do that, go ahead and just check out the Available Online button. Many classes require you to look for scholarly and peer-reviewed journals. We have an easy way to do that. You can narrow your results down like this, and it will just limit the results to only those from scholarly and peer-reviewed journals. However, because, like I said, climate change is such a broad search, you'll end up with still almost 1.5 million results. But as you can see right now, the results have changed a bit. You don't see books anymore. It's all articles, journals, and most of them have this little purple peer-reviewed stamp right here. So you know that this item comes from a peer-reviewed journal. You can further narrow down these results to articles only or book chapters. There are also some book results that are still popping up. But for the most part, they're going to be limited to articles and book chapters. You can also play around with the publication date. As you can see here, I have it set on default, so it goes all the way back to 1800. If you're doing research, especially scientific research, you might want to look within the more recent years. So I can go ahead and change this to, for example, let's do the year 2000, just because that's a good year when thinking about climate change research. So now the results are narrowed down to only things that came out since the year 2000, but it's still 1.3 million plus results because lots of climate change research came out, I'm assuming, in the past 21 years. My favorite filter is probably this one here, topic. So, like I said, climate change is a broad search. You can go ahead and expand right here, and you can then narrow it down to the subject area that you're focusing on. So if you are doing more like geological research, you can go ahead and focus on that. You can also look at climate change as it pertains to humans, environmental engineering, meteorology and climatology, whatever you would like. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just click on sustainable development because that is something that I think is very interesting. And then the results should narrow down to anything that is related to sustainable development only. This article has an interesting title, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. You can see here it has that purple peer-reviewed stamp. So even with a strange title, it is a peer-reviewed article. Go ahead and click on that. This is what the full record looks like. So this is the title of the article, Hippies on the Third Floor, and then this whole entire part that's in blue is also part of the title. If you want to see who the authors are, they're listed out right here. This is the name of the journal as well as the volume it's in, and you can also access the article by clicking on this Available Online button. Or you could do it another way, which is to go down here. So right here under View Online now, there is this thing right here that I'm highlighting right now that says Stage Journal. So this is a database that this article is housed in. For this particular article, it looks like we only have access through the Stage Journals database. There are going to be articles that you're going to encounter sooner or later that will be accessible through multiple databases. So if that's the case, all the databases will pop up as options right here. And then you will just pick whichever one you want to. Most of the time, it's just a different interface. So if you have been on the library website for a while, you will start to have preferences. Now you can view it through whichever one you want to, but this one only has one, so you can just click on that and it will take you straight to the article. Another thing you might want to pay attention to is this little bar right here. You could click on citation and it will generate the most basic citation styles for you. So here you can see APA, Chicago MLA, like as you click it, it will change around. I haven't had that much trouble using these auto-generated citations, but my coworkers have pointed out many times that they have noticed errors with it. So like this note says right here, remember to check the citations for accuracy before using them in your assignment. Of course, if you're pressed for time, it is always better to have a citation that is somewhat incorrect rather than no citation at all. So use this, generate your basic bibliography, come back and change it later before you turn it in. You can export the article you need as well to EasyBib, or export it here into your citation manager that you want to use. You can email it to yourself or your team for later access. And also this button right here, the permalink, super important. If you want to save this article to come back to later, or you want to share it with your group that you're working on this like a certain project with, do not copy the URL up here. This is a dynamic URL. It's going to keep changing. If you're lucky, you might be able to still access it later on if you use this URL, but most of the time it'll just give you a broken link or an error message because it's not a permanent static link. So instead, use the permalink and then copy this link right here to your clipboard and share that with your group, or save it to your file so that you can access this article later on when you need to. If we scroll down further, we can see some more details about this article. So there's a description right here. This is also most of the time known as the abstract. So with lots of these scientific journal articles, the abstract will introduce what the article is about and the study, like why it needs to be done, so on and so forth. And oftentimes they'll just stick the abstract into the description box right here for the record. So if you want to see if this article has anything to do with what you're researching, if it's relevant at all, if you can even use it, you can go ahead and read this little abstract here. And oftentimes you can rule out something if it's completely off the mark. If you are interested in seeing it further, you can go ahead and follow the database link right here. It, like I said, is going to make you log in. So I am not signed in right now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now we are in. As you can see, the previous description from the full record is here as the abstract. You can also see these keywords that I think are quite useful if you're searching for similar articles to build up a bibliography. Keep an eye on what these keywords are, because you can take these and plug them back into the search and see what else comes up that way. If you need to download the PDF, the download PDF button is over here on Sage. Not all databases have the same interface, so on other articles that you're reading, the download PDF button might be in a completely different spot. So you might have to poke around a little bit to find it. You're also, of course, free to just go ahead and read the entire article right here in your browser. And there you have it. That is how you access articles in the easiest way possible using the library quick search.